Episode 21 of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. On today's episode, them guys recap the wild card weekend games and also discuss current news related to their respective teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. The episode also will include a segment on the evolution of the Seattle Seahawks franchise and how it was tied to the state of Minnesota and the Vikings.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Damen und Herren, it's time for the podcast featuring Captain Vuk and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. This is the only place that's talking Hawks and Kings, but to be specific, we're talking Seattle Seahawks and Minnesota Vikings. So strap up. We're taking you on a fantastic voyage, unlike any you've ever been on, so sit back and get ready to set sail to the emerald-rich lands of the Seattle Seahawks and the treasure-filled valleys of the Minnesota Vikings, with your hosts, Captain Vuk and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. Let's get it.
I'm out of surgery. I had surgery at 2:30 today. On my throwing hand.
That's 2.5 hours ago. He's in the building.
And I'm here. And the doctor said, don't do the podcast. I said, doctors, I'm going. So I'm here. I'm here. I'm not paying yet, but I'm going to be paying in about probably 45 minutes.
No
so it's coming. So football fans, Scolders, and the 12s, welcome to episode 21, the 2-1 cap.
Yes, sir.
It's the reverse of the 12.
There you go.
The reverse of the 12.
You got the one deuce in the building.
All right. Of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast, I'm Billy Gold, along with my co-host, Captain Vuk.
What's crack-a-lacking, y'all?
And the Maverick, our production engineer, Mike, Top Gun.
Watch your elevation, Mike.
Cruise!
Watch your elevation. All right, now go vertical and come up behind him. Now, go for radar lock. You got tone. Splash one. Move in. Move to a 6 and he'll bug out. Oh, celebrate, Mike. Celebrate.
All right, Mike. You had some homework to do, so you owed us. Get ready. Get ready. You got to do the barrel roll attack, and you got to land it on the aircraft carrier. Come on, Top Gun.
Let the rhythm hit him, Mike.
Get it in there. We want to see you get it, stick it.
Come on, Mike. Oh, perfect elevation.
Get the reverb.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful landing.
They got you. You didn't go off the edge.
Outstanding. The commanding officer didn't even spill a drip of coffee.
We needed you not to go off the edge. What's that? Is it a rope or a rubber band that they stick out there?
A resting hook.
All right.
A resting
we
line.
didn't need you getting a little wet there, Mike.
Awesome.
And by the way, I can't get this pinky wet for about 5 weeks. I just got to wrap it up in the shower. I can't go in the hot tub.
Stitches?
All kinds stitches, all kinds of rules I got. I don't like rules. I got to keep it above my heart. I know my cohort Dave is listening. He's gonna say he doesn't have a heart. Where's he gonna put it?
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, bro. Glad you're here.
I've got to be here.
Yeah.
Show goes on.
Unconscious 3 hours ago.
Show goes
conscious again, back with us.
By the way, I got to thank Top Gun. He got the fighter jet up in the air. He dropped me off in a parachute and he picked me back up.
You parachuted into surgery?
I parachuted into surgery.
Awesome. Classic.
We got another great episode in store for you today as we're going to recap the wild card weekend games and then take a deep dive into what's happening with our respective organizations as they prepare for next season, not this season where they should be. As always, by the way, I told the doctors when they were doing my surgery, they said, well, you're not going to be able to use that right hand tonight. And I said, well, all right, I already loosened the caps on everything I needed to get to. So I'm good for tonight. But as I suggest, fill up your solo cup.
No doubt.
Sit back and get ready for another Lakeside fantastic voyage. Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
You ready to roll?
You know, I'm always ready to roll, brother. When I get into the 479 studio, you know how we do it. So when we were last together, coaches around the league were dropping like flies, as you know. And then it hit the Emerald Nation, B Gold. Defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr. and a passing game coordinator, Andre Curtis, were let go. And now we have to fill those holes. And I can tell you this, whoever we bring in, if they don't shine immediately, I believe my guy, Pete Carroll, may be dismissed at the end of the 2022 season.
I think you should get the Zimmer's available.
Yeah, we know that. And I'm tired of hearing his name mentioned in the prospects for coming into Seattle. So if Pete suffers that fate next year, though, I think it's fair to say that John Schneider might have to leave as well, along with Shane Waldron. So, and that's only if Waldron, I think, stinks up the joint. But either way, it's going to be a very exciting journey. You know how we travel.
I know how you travel. There's always a rainbow, and there's always a pot of gold at the end.
Not always. But I'm just saying, I'm going to use Destiny Travel Ways, and I hope you'll join me too.
All right,
so
I'm
make
on
sure
board.
you stay on board with the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. Speaking of which, B Gold, my man, are you ready to talk some Super Wild Card playoff football, brother?
Yes, I am.
And can we squeeze in some Hawks and Kings talk too?
That's what we do.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So let's start today's episode like we start with every episode. Some questions, some open items. Cap,
Yes,
I
sir.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. However, I only have a full answer for one of them and 2 partial answers. So I only got 1 question this week. I'll save the others because I'm starting to prep for some answers after getting all these questions. So this is a really, really good one. So I'm really anxious to hear your answer.
Does Top Gun know this question already?
He does not.
Oh, okay.
He does not.
Okay.
And you know what? He probably couldn't give you an answer to this question.
Uh-oh. This is very interesting.
He probably couldn't. Hey, Cap, what is your dance like nobody's watching song?
Oh my gosh, my dance like nobody's watching, like when I'm really feeling a song.
No, you're saying this is my song. And thank goodness nobody's around because I'm jamming.
Oh man, it's probably some like 1980s, 90s whack pop locking, man. You know,
Yeah, you know,
that good at it, but when I'm feeling that music, I don't give a rip. I'm bringing it.
So you have any? There's no specific song because I struggle with this, but I had time to think about it.
That's funny.
So I can go first if you want to dwell on it first. I put 3 down because there's
3
so
different
many
dances.
No, 3 different songs.
Oh, you're asking for songs.
I'm asking
I thought
for
you make your go-to dance.
No,
when you're feeling good.
What's your dance like nobody's watching song?
Oh, okay,
Song. So
okay,
let me go
okay.
first, and
Yeah,
then when you
go
can
ahead.
get it. There's so many great jams,
Agreed.
and I'm a rocker. I'm an R&B'er. I'm a freestyler. I like them all. So with so many great jams, I got 3, and if I research this more, I probably could have 10. So the first one I got, Cap, we got to know if you know this song.
Okay.
It's called I Don't Love You Anymore by Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a rockin', dancing song. Okay, that's the first one that comes to mind. I also got Hollywood Swingin' by Kool and the Gang.
So these are the songs when you hear them, you have to get on the dance floor.
You're by yourself. You're getting on your own dance floor. You're in the
I got
shower. You're out in the backyard.
Yeah.
You're cutting grass. you're doing something, and you say,
Yes.
"I gotta stop." And then the last one I got is "Something Just Ain't Right" by Keith Sweat.
Oh, okay.
So what I will say
All R&B
to the listeners is, but my favorite is I don't love you anymore. You gotta check out Teddy. Teddy rocks that one. And by the way, he's
man.
on Soul Train on the live version.
Yep.
Now he doesn't move much, and he's probably not really even singing. But you gotta check that YouTube one out. It is funny as heck.
I love it.
What was it? I Don't Love You Anymore by Teddy Pendergrass. Top Gun's already on it. So, Kat, that gave you a second there. So, and I'm telling you, my wife will not, because my wife doesn't want to hear I don't love her anymore. So she don't get around when that song comes on. But I'm rocking it. She going, was there any meaning to that? I'm going, no, it's just a great song.
You know what? That was fantastic. I mean, I think if I hear this one song, and again, I can't dance like I would love to, but
nobody's watching, Cap. It's like a tree falling in the forest.
if I hear "Looking for the Perfect Beat," Africa Bambaataa.
Oh yes, looking for the perfect beat. Looking for the perfect beat.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't
Almost
help but get out there.
that's like Planet Rock.
Exactly.
Oh yes, okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
Similar type of beat.
Yep.
Vintage, old school hip hop.
Oh
Right
yes.
out the
That's
city of New
80s
York.
freestyle, baby.
No
That's
kidding.
good stuff. Oh,
Exactly.
good stuff. Looking for the perfect beat.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Cap, right over my shoulder, right there.
Yes.
I got a 12-inch dance copy on vinyl of Looking for the Perfect Beat.
I don't doubt it. Your vault, if people could see it, it doesn't end. It's like being in a treasure cave. It is.
Of 12-inch dance records
sir.
back in the day.
God.
All right, Cap. Yeah, I know. I see. Look how on point I am today.
You're
Cap,
on point.
what do you got? You got a question for me or me and the real deal today?
Of course I do. First question from my man, Billy Gold. If you could choose between any two famous people to have dinner with, who would they be?
Do I have to choose between two or I get to?
You invite two people to come
I
to dinner
invite
with
two
you.
people. Bud Grant.
I knew Bud Grant was coming in. I should have wrote it down.
Bud Grant has to be there. Bud Grant has to be there. Bud Grant. Who's my second? See, I'm not a celebrity guy. Celebrities, they do what I do. They walk every day. They sit down every day. That's what they do.
They do.
I'm not a celebrity guy. Bud Grant's not a celebrity. Second person, that I would want to have. Would Bud Grant like this person? I guess that's the question I have to ask. If there's, is this the same dinner?
Same dinner. You get to
Same
invite
dinner.
two people to dinner. Who would they
Dinner.
be?
Same dinner.
Famous people.
Well, Bud Grant's famous, is he?
Very, very
All right.
much so.
The second one, Odin.
That works.
Right? Bud
That
Grant,
works.
Odin, and
Yeah.
Billy Gold,
and
or the
B.
real
Gold.
deal, or
That's
Diamond
B.
Bill, whoever shows up. Thank you.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
I like
Mike,
it.
give me the Jallarhorn. Yeah. We need something. Wait. So here, set it up. Dinner happens next week. The invitees are Bud Grant and Odin. Welcome, fellas. Let's eat.
That's awesome. That's good, man.
All right, right back
Great
at you,
answer.
Cap. Who you inviting?
It's not football related, but these are people that I looked up to growing up. And if I could have dinner with both of them,
Whoa.
I'll be good.
Mike, there's not two Seahawks coming to dinner.
no, there's not. Number one would be Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, wow.
For a million reasons, because he helped me come up, helped me keep my mind right growing up. And then the other one would be, and I think they would love to talk to each other also, but Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
I
there you
would
go.
love to hear these dudes at a dinner table talking about how they do what they do and how they keep their mind right, and how they competed at the highest level with what they do.
I thought after Bruce Lee, you were going to say Mr. Mahaji or whatever his name is.
No, definitely
What's his name?
not.
What's the guy from Wax On, Wax Off?
Oh, Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, Miyagi. Okay.
No, man, Bruce and Muhammad and I'll be
All right.
good.
Bruce.
Question for the real deal, though.
All right.
Real deal. You have your own late night talk show. Who do you invite as your first guest?
Bud Grant.
Of course. That's like me and Bobby Wagner, you and Bud Grant. Every answer.
No,
Bud Grant.
actually, and Odin.
And Odin, you get one person. Who's your first guest?
Who would I invite? Whose show is this? Whose show
Your
is
talk show? It's
No,
The Real Deal.
The Real Deal show?
The Real Deal has his own late night talk show. It
Then
starts in the month.
I'm inviting the famous DJ Diamond Bill.
You gonna bring him on?
Oh, you got to bring him on. He's gonna roll some old R&B, some old freestyle. He's gonna play some African Bambaataa.
You're gonna have the whole
He's gonna be
crowd
rolling
getting
it
into
on.
the step.
I could go many different ways, but yes,
Yeah.
if it's The Real Deal, he's got to get Billy Gold, aka Diamond Bill, on there.
Why not?
Exactly. That's he's got to see what the other. Well, that's why we're so close. He had him on his first talk show.
Got it.
All
That's
right.
good.
You have any more? Or are we done with questions?
No, that's it. Just
All
one
right.
for each.
Let's move on to some open items from the previous episodes. I know Top Gun enjoys this one. I think we're on episode 3 of The Mighty Heroes, or is it 4?
This is our fourth
This is
review.
our fourth. Mike, you only got 6 to go.
You can do it in an hour though, because it's only like 6 or 7
It's their
minutes.
7-minute episode. So everybody out there, don't think that Mike has got all his homework to watch the Long Mighty Hero episode. They're 7 minutes long. All right. So this week, Cap, and for the next couple weeks, Cap's in charge of picking the episodes, and he picked the Stretcher episode. So the robot rubber grubbers, led by the Stretcher, put the city of Goodhaven out of commission, stealing all of the rubber, and then made quick work of the mighty heroes.
Real quick.
Right. Strongman first knocked Diaper Man out cold before knocking himself out.
Did you notice he was straight unconscious on the
Straight
ground?
unconscious on the
he
ground.
was out.
And we talked about that today.
He was
we talked
out.
All right. After being molded inside a rubber ball, Diaper Man used high-pressured milk to free the mighty heroes, and they returned to defeat the robot rubber grubbers and stretch the Stretcher into submission.
That was a perfect recap. I just wish we could do the voice part when they actually...
You can. You had it last
when
week.
Strongman grabbed the Stretcher's arms and then Rope Man grabbed his legs and they're like, "You're not getting away." And then he goes, "Stop, stop."
That's like a Boris Karloff response.
Yeah, but the mighty heroes, they all got captured pretty easily. But then, as you said, Diaper Man got him out.
You got that skull horn, Mike? After the mighty, yeah, exactly. The mighty, you have to have a skull
But
horn.
there was one glaring thing this time. It
What
was
do you got?
so glaring. There's one thing that the mighty heroes have that they don't need.
Cuckoo Man.
Absolutely. Cuckoo Man is an empty
He's a
suit.
liability.
He's got to go.
You know what? We have to find an episode where he wins for them. He doesn't do anything.
He was face to face with the unicycle robot that's like half his size.
And they had to put tires around him for him to protect himself.
He punches the guy in the face and the guy doesn't move and he just needs to go.
Tornado Man saved him,
He
right?
saved him. Yeah,
Right.
I was like, come on.
So we
Cuckoo
have to
Man.
replace him with the 12th man, I think.
No, he can't fit into Emerald Nation. I don't think he can fit. He got to bring more to the table.
Get out Cuckoo Man and drop the 12th man as a new superhero.
If the 12th man comes
That's
in
what
there,
I'm
it's
saying.
a wrap.
Exactly.
Them
It's a
villains-
wrap.
Yeah, that's on.
You know what? They wouldn't have been in the rubber ball.
No. How'd that guy get addicted to rubber, though?
All
That
right.
was just off the hook.
All right. This is one I've been waiting to do. Open item number 2. Corrections.
What you got?
During the fantasy football segment in episode 19, Billy Gold, reported that the Real Deal was defeated in the conference championship game 138-132, and the season was over. Stop the presses. That's not what happened. What I did not realize at the time was that the playoffs were not set up as single elimination, but covered 2 weeks for each round. This week, after episode 20, I saw an email in my inbox that said, "Congratulations, champ." And I'm going, I win a lot of things. What did I win? I opened it up, and to my surprise, I had won the league championship.
Verified.
I did not realize that round 1 of the playoffs covered 2 weeks, and I outscored my opponent 175 to 91 in the second week. This gave me a 2-week total of 307, while my opponent ended with 229. That moved me into the league championship, which I didn't know was going on.
Yeah, you were like in the same boat I was
But
in.
I still had the same lineup, which I kept telling every whole year, I can't be beaten. The first week, I went up 156 to 102, and I capped it off, outscoring 117-94 in the second round to secure the championship, 273 to 196. As I stated all year during the fantasy football season, I'm keeping my hand in the air like the doctor told me to. My team was stacked and well coached, and I was going to take home the prize. Looking back at my lineup over 3 weeks, I was not aware of, but the only possible change I would have made was the defense and possibly the tight end position when Waller returned. I will say this. I had picked up Miami, and two out of the 4 weeks, they scored 19 points and 25 points, and I didn't even know that thing was going on.
Hey, hats off to you, man.
So, you know what? I invested in my players and coaches,
You
and they
did.
took home the championship for me.
You just let them roll.
So what I've done is I have forwarded this result to Viking owners and expect an interview for one, if not both, of the 2 open positions, GM and coach.
There you go.
And wait. I am the champion, my friends, and I kept on fighting till the end. I am the champion. I am the champion. No time for losers, 'cause I am the champion of the world.
There you go. Give him some Jallarhorn activity. He deserved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Yeah, here I am thinking that, we're both in the loser bracket now, and your team is steadily knocking people down.
Knocking them down for 3 weeks.
How did you get the notice that says
After I thought I was singly eliminated.
Well
so
done.
that's the only thing that the owners of the Vikings could call me out on, that I left my team running themselves for 3 weeks. But I won. I managed that team. I built that team.
Careful, man. You're going to have to call an ambulance.
That was my finger. I built that team. I built them. I coached them. I made the moves during the season. Viking owners, Will family, get me in there. I can do this. I can do this job. I do every job. Let's do it.
Very dedicated man.
All right, tip of the cap from the cap. We got one?
Captain.
Yeah, I got a tip of the cap. It goes to the heated rival.
Oh, wait. I thought it was going to be for me winning the championship,
no, you
Cap.
didn't even know it was happening, though. You didn't even know it was happening behind the curtain. It was if you would have been on it, I would have given you
I
the
was
tip of
on
the
it.
cap.
I built the team.
You sent the roster out 3 weeks ahead and said, "Listen, go do your thing.
Exactly.
I'll check back
I don't
on
need it.
y'all
I was
in a little bit."
so solid. I didn't need it.
That was classic.
I'm
You
just
hit me
kidding.
up because I did go verify. Like, damn, he did win. So good for you, man.
All right, what do you got?
I had another open item, but it's so detailed that I think we should do this at the same time.
Okay.
All right, my assignment was to go check and see how many free agents the Seahawks had, excuse me, and then also see what type of cap space we had. And so this put me into a world that I was not familiar with all these different free agent designations. So I will tell you that we have 26 free agents in 4 different categories. And we do have about 53 million in projected cap space, which is pretty good. But to do it justice, because I need to look at this a little bit closer, unless you ask me about a specific player, why don't you do your cap space on your squad, regardless of who the coaches are coming in and some of the players that you really want to keep, and let's see what it might take to keep them, and I'll do the same thing.
All right, good. So mine's pretty easy. We have no cap space. We're 18 million over the cap space.
Your segment is done.
Yeah, we have the 18 million. So we have the Anthony Barr gone, right?
Is
Daniel
he
Hunter.
restricted or what's his deal?
He has an out, so he's gone.
Must
But I
be
mean, I think he has a player option, so he's
Okay.
no. Or actually, it's kind of like one of those agreements where he has a chance to leave, but we could cut him. So or let him walk. So
Okay.
Anthony Barr gone. Daniel Hunter, great player, hasn't played really in a year and a half. If we sign him, it's 23 million gone. Kirk Cousins traded to the Broncos. We'll put in 10 million. Gives us, he has 45 million cap it this year.
Oh boy.
Give him 10. Pay 10 million. Give me two late. Give me a second round and a fourth round or something like that. Get him out of here. Let's start from the ground up. You're going to bring new people in. I can't really speak for the new leadership that's coming in. There's a lot of opportunity for us to jettison some of these guys that have contracts that we don't need. I think we could probably get 30 million under the cap. It's very simple. Kirk Cousins, I get 35 million under the cap. Anthony Barr, you get another 15. So there's plenty of opportunity, but I cannot speak on it because I don't know who they bring in, and that's that states everything.
They could come in and prioritize a completely different position or something.
Correct.
And good guys could be gone.
Yep.
I do like the fact that you used the word jettison. A little silent shout out to Top Gun. I'm going to just mention a few names of people that I want to see us try to keep. Quandre Diggs, for sure. We need to pay that man.
Is he unrestricted or not?
He is what is his category? He is under notable unrestricted free agent.
Well, if he's then the people are coming after him with some money.
Are, even though he's got the injury, but we need to take care of him.
Yes.
And hopefully that injury scares others away, but not us. Gerald Everett, our tight end, we need to bring him back.
Nah, all right.
Yeah, we definitely, Disley's on the list too, but Disley, people they don't give him enough shots, man.
You only need one of those guys.
Disley can block though, and that's the thing that people keep sleeping
Yeah,
on.
you can get a blocker.
Look at some of the big runs that Rashad Penny broke, who's next in my line of names. You see, Disley was doing the edge block, sealing the blocker, but we got to try to keep Rashad Penny. I know he's got significant injury history for his first 3 years, but them last 6-7 weeks, I mean, that looked like a number 1 draft pick to the world. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Ryan Neal, a safety who came in, he got a lot of good run last year, and he kind of came in when Jamal Adams went down. Very capable. They should be able to come to agreement with him. Rasheem Green, one of our defensive ends. I really like this guy, and he had a good year. I predicted him to have a good year after they came out of camp, and he came through. Brian Monet, another guy, he showed up enough to the point where I think we should try to keep him. The other guy I have to mention is DJ Reed, and I know you're not raising your hand because you have a question. You're following doctor's orders. And so we've been conditioned our whole lives to where someone raises their hand, you think they have a question, and you're just representing the doc.
I'm just getting some relief.
So the last guy is DJ Reed, our corner, who just really showed up. So those were the ones that when we do our deep dive, there'll be other names that come up, but I don't want to eat up this.
You might have a lot of cap space if Russell Wilson gets traded, and he's got a couple destinations. That's $30 million.
It's possible if they end up doing a deal for Russell, which I hope they don't, but if they do, not only will we get some cap space, we'll also get a bunch of draft picks.
I know he's in your heart, but you wouldn't trade him to the Jets for one of their first-round draft picks and their rookie quarterback?
One first-round draft pick and
maybe a 1 and a 2 and a rookie quarterback.
I don't know.
Got to remember, 33 years old for Russell. You got to think of the future.
He's extremely productive, though. Brady's 77, and he's on a
how often does that happen?
To get an MVP.
How often does that happen?
Not often.
And by the way, the real deal hasn't coached against Brady yet, because I would have solved that pretty quickly.
Speaking of that, I can't wait to hear your prediction for for the Bucs next game. I can't wait to hear it.
Let's go. I have nothing for the real deal moment of the week. However, we have a new segment, and after speaking with Top Gun on the side here, he thinks we should include this weekly.
Let's hear it. What you got?
We're gonna might have to rename it, but we're gonna start out with the ridiculous article of the week.
Okay.
So there's this guy, Ethan Lee from Fansided, and I picked on some of these reporters before.
Yes,
we've never had a title before.
Yes, you have unhesitatingly.
Right. Exactly. So Ethan Lee from Fansided on January 13th. Here's what he wrote. And this just, Kat, when you hear this, you're gonna be like, we got to keep this segment. The Minnesota Vikings will need to make some tough choices with their roster. Will they trade Justin Jefferson to build for their future? And I'm going, dude, he is the future.
Exactly.
Ethan Lee, what do you watch? Soccer? What do you watch? Old black and white movies like I do? Watch football. He's the future. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That makes zero sense.
Right?
You trade that guy for what? So he can come back and torch you?
There's just to get another number one pick. You never know how number one pick's going to land.
That's how a GM gets fired doing stuff like that.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, Ethan Lee, hey, Mike, you got some homework. Find out if he has any followers.
Well, check this out. Look at it this way. Remember, he didn't get to break Randy Moss's record, but he almost did, right? His rookie record?
Yeah, but it would have been in 17 games, not 16
but
games.
But was it a rookie record or just a Moss record?
Oh, it was because this is the second year. It wasn't a rookie record. It was just a season record.
So same caliber players, what I'm saying. So that would be the equivalent of saying after Randy Moss's first year, when he shined, let's trade him.
Yeah, I'll trade I'll trade Justin. Here's what I'll trade Justin Jefferson for. Give me. Here's what I'll trade Justin Jefferson to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson and 3 first-round draft choices.
Forget it.
All right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying. I mean, I'm using an example.
Exactly.
I'm using an example. You know, or to anybody. Because you don't necessarily hit on number one draft choice. We had Garrett Bradbury, our center. He gets bowled over all the time. He's out. Number ones don't work all the time.
He wears roller skates.
Exactly. He goes backwards. Exactly. He's got roller skates with jet propulsions going back towards the quarterback.
He flies backwards like Cuckoo Man.
Exactly. So, Kat, do you have anything before I get to a long-winded fun fact?
No, I'm ready to hit the super wild card weekend. So hit your fun fact up, my man.
All right. Fun fact. Do I only have one?
It's 3 hours, though.
Let me go one, page 2, page 3. Oh, hang on there, people.
How can this be so long? I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, it's great. No, I only have one fun fact. All right. So,
I know you're going to dig this.
There you go. Hey, Kat.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Hugh McElhaney is?
UW running back.
He is.
Lore.
Right. He is he at the time was the biggest football personality ever to emerge from Washington. He played at the University of Washington.
Yep, Huskies.
He was selected as the 9th overall pick in the 1952 draft by the San Francisco 49ers, where he played most of his career. And he set 16 Husky school records.
He's revered.
Right. He's revered in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
After that, he was selected in the 1961 expansion draft and became a member of the newly formed Minnesota Vikings.
I have to say, your monotone right now is very intriguing. I can't wait for this to explode. I know it will.
That year, he led the team in rushing and had 7 total touchdowns, including his first punt return touchdown since his rookie season. He was invited to his 6th Pro Bowl following the season. He played 2 seasons for the Vikings, and he was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1970.
That's outstanding.
Okay. Kat, do you know who Wayne Field is?
Wayne Field.
Wayne Field.
That's a negative.
All right. He was a Minnesota tycoon who had always lusted for an NFL franchise. He steered his sights towards Seattle and took action in February of 1969 by forming the Seattle Sea Lions Management Corps.
1969. Interesting.
He became wealthy as an owner of the largest privately held assisted living facility in the state of Minnesota. He was precisely the kind of rich, do-good citizen the NFL sought in new franchise owners. He had one drawback, however. If the NFL moved into Seattle, Field would not be a local owner, which was a league requirement.
Okay.
So, to counter this flaw, Field sought to team up with McElhenney, the running back. That was the Seattle Golden Child.
The connection.
So Field recruited an acquaintance, Bobby Cox, who played quarterback with the Huskies at the same time as McElhenney, to set up the introduction. After they were introduced, Field made this pitch to McElhenney. I'll give you $35,000 per year to leave his advertising job and move to Seattle and become the vice president and general manager of the Seattle Sea Lions Management Corps. Okay? Now, McElhenney had 2 choices. He could own 10% of the Sea Lions if the NFL granted an expansion franchise, if McElhenney made a $10,000 investment. Or he could receive 3% if he invested nothing. Fields also said he would bump McElhenney's salary to $50,000 if Seattle Sea Lions ever entered the NFL. Finally, Field would make a 3-year commitment to the project and fund it with $100,000 annually to get this NFL franchise. McElhenney, he liked the proposal, but recognized there would be some issues about the stadium and the franchise entry fee because previous teams to enter paid right around $9 million. Atlanta, New Orleans, and Miami. But he did accept the offer. He wanted to return to pro football and to Seattle ever since his retirement in 1964. But he had no opportunity. So now he would become the face of a franchise almost certain to be awarded to Seattle and a part owner. So I'm getting to the connection. Minnesota and Seattle. I think this is why we do this podcast.
Our origins are together.
We always
They're
seem
tied.
to touch on stuff that comes up. So McElhenney signed a 3-year contract with Field on December 17th, 1971, moved back to Seattle, and set up shop. Late in 1971, they decided to rename the Sea Lions to the Seattle Kings, which they believed to be more appropriate after they discovered that the new Dome Stadium would be constructed in downtown Seattle near the King Street Station, which you should be aware of because you grew up in Seattle.
I grew up in Tacoma, but I know that area, and I think you're going to get to this, so I'm going to save it in this you don't hit it.
In the various discussions with NFL officials, Field and McElhenney came to understand that 4 cities were under consideration for expansion franchises: Seattle, Tampa Bay, Memphis, and Phoenix. As we know, Memphis and Phoenix never happened. The NFL stated they probably would select 2, giving the league 28 teams. By now, 2 conclusions seemed foregone. Seattle was going to get a franchise. The only question being when, and the Kings, given Fields' promotional work and McElhenney's profiles, would they be the owners? The only question would be, how much would they have to fork over for this privilege? In June of 72, Field and McElhenney received a seismic jolt, when a rival ownership suddenly materialized named Seattle Professional Football. This group was heavy with local business success, family ties, civic achievement, and personal prestige. Money was no problem for this group. They used the lack of Northwest routes against the Minnesota Tycoon fields. All right. Something really changed in 1972. The ownership of the LA Rams changed hands for a price of $19 million. So now Fields and McElhenney both knew the expansion fee would increase to 12 to 14 million, not the original 9.
Mm-hmm.
This increase they did not plan for. In an attempt to bolster the Kings' claim to the next franchise, which once seemed to be a lock, they ordered NFL properties to design uniforms for the Kings. The colors were chosen, and strange enough, they were the opposite of the Minnesota Vikings colors. They were mostly gold with a purple stripe down the helmet.
Isn't that something?
Yes, and
Isn't
I will get you the picture. So it just goes to show how this podcast evolved. We were meant to come together, Cap.
And check it out.
Every time I do this stuff, it comes back.
Yeah, you're the historian, man. And I love the fact that you dig and dig and dig because there's some stuff that's kind of telling in there. Number one, the stadium that they played in was called the King Dome.
Yes.
And I never even thought of connecting that in Minnesota, but you guys are the Minnesota what?
Kings. Exactly.
Bro.
That's why he picked
That's
the Kings.
Crazy. So how ironic is it that we're doing a Seattle Seahawks, Minnesota Vikings podcast, not even realizing that our roads basically started together.
This is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at.
Is this Dr. Fate material?
Exactly. So on April 30th of 1974, the NFL caught all ownership wannabes in Seattle off guard by awarding Tampa Bay an expansive franchise and not Seattle or anybody else one.
Yep.
And setting Tampa's expansion fee at $16 million. So as it started out at $9 million, then we thought it was going to be 12 to 14. Now it's all of a sudden 16. That's what Tampa Bay. This changed everything.
It did.
Seattle did not receive a team because the NFL did not like the stadium, Kings County Stadium lease terms. All right? Seattle Socrates, you're eating this up, dude. You're saying you're saying the real deal. He's on his game. He's doing his homework.
Point.
So eventually, King County executive John Spellman, who had considered threatening the NFL with the prospect of Seattle chasing a franchise in the new World Football League, the WFL, reworked the fine print, and Seattle on June 5th in 1974 became the NFL's 28th franchise. But no one knew the identity owners. It was still up in the air. And for the Kings, the climate and economics had shifted and deteriorated dramatically. With the new price set at $16 million for the franchise, the Kings figured it would take $23 or $24 million to get started. It ultimately was deemed too steep of a price, and the Seattle Kings withdrew from expansion consideration in October of 1974. On December 5th, 1974, Commissioner Pete Rozelle awarded ownership of the Seattle franchise to Seattle Professionals Football. After Field threw his support behind this group, he had one request. Given the 5 years of effort and money his company had invested in helping make pro football a reality in Seattle, would the Seattle Professional Football Group please consider naming the team the Kings? No, they would not.
That's correct.
They chose the Seahawks. So to sum it up, a former Viking, McElhenney, and a Minnesota Tycoon, Field, played a major role in bringing the NFL to Seattle.
And you got to highlight the fact that McElhenney was a Husky.
University
of Washington.
A Husky.
And what are their colors? Purple and gold, baby.
They flip. How ironic is that? And when I stumbled across this, I was like, wow.
Now let me tell you something, just a little extra carrot, because you know how they ice shouldered us when we tried to get in and they shut you guys down, and then they brought in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you know what happened on October 17th in 1977?
I do not.
The Seattle Seahawks experienced their very first professional win in a 13-10 win over who?
The Minnesota Vikings, probably. Oh, all right.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, all right. Oh, good.
Knocked them out the box. That's what they did.
You know what? Now that you say that, dude, that's the year Tampa Bay went undefeated, right?
You mean they went unwinnable?
I mean, yeah. They didn't win anything. You're right.
Yeah, that's a heck of a story, but that was good. That was good. Good
How
history lesson.
awesome is that? And you know what? Here's a good thing for you listeners out there. Go back and check out it's either episode 1, 2, or 3 when we did the history of these teams. Now, they're a little boring because we're just getting our legs underneath us, but there's a lot of history in those things. Seattle Socrates.
He loves it.
I think I want his feedback on this.
Oh, he's going to love it. I'll get feedback from you. He may try to call in again. He wants to know when he can call back up.
All right, good. All right, so are we ready? You have anything else before we get to the wild card weekend recap?
No, and those ain't going to take too much time for me, but they're going to be funny.
All right.
And I can't wait to hear your picks.
All right, so let's get to the wild card weekend recap.
What up, Johnny?
How about them Cowboys? My upset of the week came to fruition.
It did.
All right, other games. Cincy held off the Raiders. Late attempt to tie the game. Burrows to Chase is fun to watch. What do you think, Cap?
Love it. Great combination, great energy, and they're not done.
All right, the Bucs crushed the Eagles. The Bucs, though, however, lost 2 key offensive linemen during this game. What do you got, Cap?
Yeah, Tampa Bay put the rhythm on Philly. And Philly, I mean, their quarterback looked horrible. I don't know if that was a result of the scheme.
No, he's just horrible.
The non-level playing field.
He's not horrible.
Or what? But they did not
he's average. He's average.
They did not look like they should be in the playoffs. I'd rather watch the Giants play than them.
I don't have much for the next one other than KC toyed with the Steelers.
That was a complete beat down.
Right? Beat down.
And Ben, sadly, I think he's got to be finished.
Yeah, he's finished. And they actually pretty much set up the game. All right. Buffalo gave New England a taste of their own medicine as they scored every time they got the ball, except the last drive when they knelt down to run out the clock. Total domination.
Yeah, the buzzsaw that is the Bills, it continues.
and another short one I have, LA Rams had little trouble with the Cardinals.
Yeah, they took care of business. The Cardinals didn't look so solid. And I've been talking about these fronts. I've watched these teams a lot for the last several years. Aaron Donald, if you don't have an answer for him, he has an answer for you.
Exactly. Exactly. He's a beast. He's a beast.
Ridiculous.
All right, let's get on to some breaking news this week. A report that came out yesterday stated that Coach Zimmer and GM Rick Spielman had not talked for months.
Now, does that make any sense at all?
Not something a fan wants to hear.
I mean,
not talked for months.
If the owner gets wind of that earlier,
but he doesn't live in Minnesota, the owner, and that might be a problem.
That's a big problem because that type of lack of communication can't exist.
All right, here's a good one. Outside the box with the real deal. During the interview with Jerry Jones for the head coach's job of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy told the Cowboys owner that he analyzed every snap of the team's season in 2019. You remember this, Cap?
I do.
So when a reporter asked what specifically he learned from that exercise, McCarthy came clean. Well, I need to confess. I told Jerry that I watched every play of the 2019 season, but I wanted the job, McCarthy said with a laugh. I haven't watched every play of the season, but you got to do what you got to do to get the job. Did you know that?
No, that's horrible.
Horrible. So,
oh my goodness. So, okay, so that's type you can't ask those type of questions unless you can verify the answer.
Correct.
Because you can get hosed by the chameleons that are some people.
They got him. So after failing to advance past the first round, this lie, along with not harping on fundamentals, will come back to bite him in the rear end and cost McCarthy his job. Year 1, he was 6-10. Mm-hmm. Many of the mistakes that hindered the Packers are played out again in real time with the Cowboys, with McCarthy in charge, because he's the common denomination.
Wow.
So, Cap, I'm glad you shared some of your wild card weekend thoughts with me. So let's get to the divisional round of the playoff picks.
Yo, it's time for the picks, the weekly predictions by them guys. Get your notebooks out because they rarely miss. Make way for Captain Book when he makes his picks. You can't touch this dude. Reppin' Hawks in the Emerald Nation. All units, battle stations. So welcome to the battle zone. It's a place where Captain Book is never alone. With his guy, be gold by his side. Sporting purple, always ready to ride. A real Viking maniac. Never afraid to go on the attack. And when needed and comes the real deal, he's got a real feel for NFL skill. So listen close and get the word. Don't be the one who hadn't heard about Captain Book and Blue Gold. Dropping knowledge, truth be told. The picks. Battle tested.
Hey, Top Gun. Now I know what Hesh felt like in all those meetings with the pain he had.
Now everybody's like, what's a hash?
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's a friend
Some
of
people
ours.
will know it.
He's a friend of ours.
Let's get to the regular season prediction record. Cap went 9-6 this week, and now he stands at 141-79. And the real deal went 11-4. You know what? This is wrong too, Cap.
What's wrong, man?
This is wrong too. We went with the weekend picks. I only beat you by 1 game. This isn't right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I closed the gap from 6 games to 5 games. I didn't update this though. I only beat you because I picked San Francisco.
That was a great pick.
Yeah, I picked San Francisco. So
I enjoyed that win.
There was how many total games do we have for playoffs last week? 5?
5.
All right, so I went 5-0. You went 4-1. So I'll update the records, but I closed the gap. Your lead is reduced to 5 games.
Well, there's some dice rolling going on this weekend, brother. So be ready.
All right. So don't lack confidence after that screw up. All right, let's get to the divisional round game predictions. Woo!
What's up, Mr. Flair? Always good to have you with us.
Ric Flair in the building. No Macho Man this week. He's on injured reserve, or he's on the COVID watch list.
He ate too many Slim Jims.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, somebody touched his Slim Jim, and he can't get in here.
His stomach's upset.
All right. Divisional round, Saturday, 4 p.m. Cincy at Tennessee. After Tennessee, and I think you missed this the first time, Cap.
What's that?
After Tennessee defeats Cincinnati, listen closely. You will remember the Titans.
I love it. I love
Denzel,
it.
right?
Listen, that's exactly right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely Denzel.
24-23, Tennessee.
All right, so listen, we know the king is coming back, but it's in Cincy. Burrow, Joe Burrow, listen to me, brother. You're home in the jungle. Paws up, claws up, and extended. That's how you get to the cigars. Cincinnati 28, Titans 21.
Wow, all right, good. All right, Saturday, 8 p.m. game. San Francisco at Green Bay. I got Green Bay defending the frozen tundra and sending the 49ers packing 27-20.
You know what? I'm going opposite on this one, so you can actually catch up really good this weekend and make it a nice photo finish. San Francisco 49ers will be digging up the frozen tundra and looking for what? Gold. It's going to be a gold strike. Going to go with the San Francisco 49ers 34, Green Bay Packers, and their crying squad 31.
So, you said San Francisco was to score 30 points last week, did they?
34. No, they didn't. They got 23, I think.
Now you got them scoring.
Yeah.
You got them scoring more than last
At
week.
the end of the day, they get the W.
All right, W. All right, W. All right. All right. So, not that I have my memory doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sunday, 3 p.m. You got the LA Rams at Tampa Bay. So, the Rams used their big horns to headbutt the Buccaneers into submission. This is my upset of the week. Behind Von Miller and Aaron Donald, they will dominate the Bucs offensive line, who might be without 2 starters. I got 23-20 Rams over the Bucs.
I'm riding with you on this one too, and I don't want to forget Jalen Ramsey in the defensive backfield either. As B. Gold just said, the Rams are going to lean back again on 2 legs, and they're going to ram them because the LA team is ram tough. It's going down 41. You know I ain't afraid to put no 40 burgers
No,
up
you
there.
are not.
Tampa Bay 29.
Wow, all right.
Brady and the crew, they got to finish it up.
They do. All right, final game for the weekend.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Sunday, 6 p.m. We got Buffalo coming into Kansas City. The Chiefs go on the warpath and spear the Bills. This is the game of the week, 31-30.
Check it out. This is going to be the game of the week. I totally agree with you there. Buffalo, the stampede continues. Horns first. They're going to put them in, and there's nobody that's going to be able to stop them. Buffalo 40, Kansas City 38.
Has Buffalo ever won a Super Bowl?
No.
They're not gonna.
We're going to find out.
Because you want to know what? If they lose again, then it puts them as the worst Super Bowl competitor ever because they'll go to 0-5. Minnesota's 0-4.
But their winning percentages in the playoffs will be very high.
We don't care about that.
For not in the big game.
Big game.
Yeah.
Minnesota's good in the playoffs historically too. But I need somebody to go 0-5 in the Super Bowl. This is the year. Actually, I got it. They're out.
Different. This team is built different.
It is?
Yeah.
No,
We're
we'll
gonna find out, just like the team before them did.
All right, we'll see.
Pittsburgh, they put them to bed early.
All right. So let's get to the survival pool for the playoffs. That's where Johnny King should have been in as well. But, I might just maybe drop this down a notch. We could continue to use this. Last week, we had to pick one team to advance each week until the Super Bowl. I picked Tampa Bay. And Cap, who'd you pick?
The Rams.
The Rams? Okay. So now we're on to these 4 games. You cannot use the Rams. And I cannot use Tampa Bay. I'm taking the Rams this week. This will leave me 6 teams to pick from if the Rams can advance here.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and based on my picks, I'm going to ride with Cincinnati this week.
Cincinnati. All right. This is the week I take home the first trophy
you may take
of
the
the
lead
survival
this
pool.
week
Survival pool playoffs.
Got some dice on the table, and I'm not a gambler like that.
All right, so that's a quick segment because we just added that in for a little bit of fun. So Scolders, 12s, and all you football fanatics, thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you get the word out on the street. Our numbers are really stepping up there. After our weekend show really had a bunch of people, downloading the episode. Continue to do that. Get the word out there. Now that you got a little something you can go back and check out our historical episodes, it's a good time to do it. The Vikings continue to search for the next GM and coach, and they have some solid candidates. My hope is that they do not sign a defensive-minded coach, but someone who can lead the whole team. Cap, as you always do, bring us home.
And before I kick us off to the home stretch, I just want to touch briefly on Ken Norton, D coordinator that was fired. I didn't really speak on him too much today, but I want to let the fans know that we're going to do a deeper dive because I want to get some candidate names out there first before we start talking about what happened to him. That's a negative. So we got you. We didn't forget about it, but listen, like the sands in an hourglass or the mead in a soldier's glass for medicinal purposes only, of course. So are the days in the life of an NFL employee. Waste nothing. Vikings, be deliberate and focused on who your next front person is. Get it right. Like you said earlier, B Gold. It's too important to mess it up. And to my Hawks, the same thing. Whoever our new D coordinator is, make sure they are ready to fearlessly and deliberately come in and get this thing rolling the right way because time fleets. Waste it not. With that, we will see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. You know how we do it. Scolders, skol on. And to my 12s in the Emerald Nation, emerald up and go Hawks.
Peace.